everybody, welcome to Rock and Roll Shin-Soo, episode number 73. My name is Gabe Estel. I'm here with my co-hosts, Jonathan Getz and Dennis Levi Leach. How's it going, guys?
Fantastic.
Just
good.
Coming to you from another state.
I like your new backdrop, Jonathan.
I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance to paint the room. It's pretty putrid color right now.
Looks good.
Congrats on the new digs.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Good. Hope you like it. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. We haven't touched base in a little while, but this is an pretty much all baseball episode. Whereas, the last couple, I think, were a little more geared towards tunes. So spring training has begun. Spring training has sprung. And it's certainly exciting. As we've talked about before, spring training is pretty long, so it feels like they've already been down there about 2 months, even though it's only been about 2 weeks.
It's just, one of the things I think that's so amazing is for how long it is. Like on average, most players only see like 30 to 40 at bats.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players though, split squads, all that. Yeah.
It's the opportunity to kind of check the pulse of young talent, as well. So see how they face, higher competition than they're used to, I think.
I remember as a kid checking the box scores and seeing the SS in parentheses for the split squad games. And it was so strange to see your team. Like I would see the Red Sox in there, like 2 different scores for the Red Sox. It's kind of surreal to see that, but that was just, of course, the split squads.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're today's March 1st when we're recording this, and they've still got like a lot of spring training games left, a month essentially. Yeah. I mean, they've each as of today, as of this recording, each team has played about 5 or 6 games, with starting last week. So yeah, we got a long ways to go, but I'm still excited though. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I haven't watched any live games yet. So I'm looking forward to finally catching one. It's still, even though I mentioned earlier, it feels like it's been going on for a while. It probably still has a little bit of the new car smell still. So that's good.
I'm a little annoyed that MLB TV wants to charge me to watch practice. I will not subscribe.
Yeah,
you would think maybe spring training would be free.
I hear it's very much not free for the Cubs facility to watch games in person. You're paying like $80 at spring training.
We were gonna we went last year and it was a blast, and we thought about going this year, and it's just crazy. And then the Rockies, like the Cubs are gonna be here like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday or something, and they wouldn't sell tickets to everyone. You had to enter a lottery to possibly even get the chance to go to a Cubs-Rockies game.
They're like rock stars.
This is life at the top, Levi. You're the belle of the ball now, all right?
I just thank God for all those games I went to that we sucked in 86 or whatever, 88.
Yep. Oh yeah, I can't imagine like what.
The Wrigley prices are going to be.
They're going to be insane this year. Yeah.
Especially for the ring ceremony, the banner ceremony, whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, it pays to root for the other team. All right. So yeah, because we'll the only games we'll sell out are maybe opening day and when we play the Cubs. So
like dollar hot dog night.
Yeah, might do okay.
Fireworks Fridays,
yeah. Heck, I've already had the season ticket people call me about a half a dozen times over the last 3 weeks.
It's like Abreu on the phone, like dialing.
They're like, okay, so this
that would help.
If
I got to talk to him, I might consider it. I mean, the White Sox are selling packages that are like, gosh, I mean, you can see. You can. I don't. Obviously, this can be verified later, but something like a dozen games for like $40 or $50. I mean, it's insane.
Sure.
Yeah.
You get to sit with Ron Karkovice.
Right. Definitely. Ivan Calderon gives you a back rub, you know. But anyway, I better look to see if he's still alive.
I think Ivan passed a few years ago.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
no, I think he died, yeah.
Ivan, if your family's listening, my condolences. Okay, I'm really sorry. Oh shit!
He died in 2003. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. He was a great player. Anyway, he lives on in spirit. But anyway, so let's talk about our teams, guys, as they are still in the young spring training. Talk about that, and then a little bit about how spring training's going for some other players, and then we're going to talk about kind of spring training of yesteryear and who are some of spring training's legendary performers, and also kind of what became of some of those people as well, because not all of them are household names.
Sorry.
But
I'm gonna kick out my cat. Keep on going.
Yeah, she's like, never say anything about Ivan Calderon again. Oh.
He's one in my lifelong quest to get all the Diamond Kings signed. He's a tough one to find because he's passed away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Levi, let's start with you. Again, you are the belle of the ball here. So
I'm not used to the spotlight, so I don't know how to handle any of this.
Has Wade Davis pitched yet?
I don't know. I get so little info here, and I haven't been keeping up with it every day online like I need to.
Right. Well, that's
basically my only option so far because it's still $85 again this year for the single team MLB package, which is cheaper than the 120 or 30 they charge for every team. But
so refresh my memory. Is Wade Davis that trade between the Royals and the Cubs?
Yeah.
Is that the biggest offseason move for the Cubs, or am I missing something?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, and I mean you got John Jay.
You got John Jay.
Yeah,
and then
is John Jay going to start?
Right?
I think he's going to be kind of platooning, but I'm not positive.
So who's your outfield then entirely? Hayward.
Schwarber's going to see time there.
Yeah,
Schwarber's already been playing in the outfield, I guess, from the little info I've seen so far. And who else? Schwarber, John Jay, Solaire's gone, obviously. Hayward.
Will Baez
sometimes
see time out
Baez and Zobrist are going to kind of like when one's not playing infield, the other's going to play out. And Madden's got the pieces to move stuff around again, kind of, which is interesting. The way he does it.
It's a terrible problem having too much talent.
Anyway. And that's the thing that with one of the getting ready for this show, one of the articles we had posted was talking about how Theo, and it's the only really, I don't know if it's the only bad move he's ever made with the Cubs or whatever, but the DJ LeMahieu thing, and it was like I forget, it was like Ian Stewart and somebody else, and Ian Stewart ended up playing for the Cubs for one season and was gone, and DJ LeMahieu is prospered into a killer hitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, he backed into a batting title when he didn't play the final weekend of the regular season just so he could clinch the batting title, and that's kind of a puss move.
Yeah, I agree.
Says this guy who once played baseball his freshman year.
Exactly right. Yeah, I played Little League, so I know what I'm talking about. And he's doing it in Colorado, right? So the air's thinner.
Yeah, the Dante Bichette numbers, right?
Right. The Aroldis trade could really come back to bite him, man. Gleyber Torres is a really good player that the Yankees got.
Come back to bite him, but they won a World Series, so...
I agree. That's what I mean. It's hard to argue.
You mortgage that. That's done.
Yeah.
That ship sailed.
If he didn't win the World Series, I'd be worried about it, but whatever. I mean, I think if you guys just make the playoffs and lose this year, I think everybody will just kind of shrug, and just be like, whatever, we changed history last year, wrote history.
Yeah, if we don't win the World Series again, there will be wait till next year's shirts again or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. We'll have a prediction episode after this one, but I would still put them down as the favorite. If I had to. Yeah,
I think a lot of the Las Vegas odds makers are putting them at the top. But I mean, there's a lot of good teams.
I've said this before, and everybody else said the Nationals are pretty stacked.
Oh yeah.
I think the Cubs are better, but I mean if you look at the Nationals on paper, which is where they've always been better than they are on the field, they're pretty loaded.
Sounds like Scherzer's struggling to come to full health.
Oh yeah.
So he may miss a lot of the spring, but yeah, they're still loaded.
They're still pretty loaded, yeah. And I think the Mets could bounce back a little bit as well too. So
if that rotation bounces back in New York, it could be dangerous once again.
Yeah. And then with the Cubs too, you got Wade Davis as a you got hopefully if he's healthy, one of baseball's best closers, if not the best.
If he's healthy.
If he's healthy, yeah. It looks good. Looks good from the view from the top. Looks good for Levi.
I saw a little bit of video from the spring, and Jason Hayward seems to have retooled his swing pretty heavily.
I think he'll probably get a lot of talk as that'll be the comeback player of the year. I think.
Shit, you bet 268 he could win.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Bar was set pretty low that first year.
Yeah. Yeah, so and I think that with him, I still don't like that contract, but I don't think it matters. The Cubs are after winning the World Series are so flush with cash, and such the cream of the crop that another team that could really handicap them. They could if that was in Kansas City or that was even on the other side of Chicago, a contract like that and him not panning out would hurt us. With you guys have a room for Hayward not to be very good.
Growing up as a Cubs fan, not so much maybe in the 80s because contracts weren't huge then, but Sosa had huge deals that we were kind of under for a while. Right. The Soriano deal we were under for years. We were on the wrong side of, and
Ramirez to a certain degree, or a little bit, Zambrano.
Yeah. And so
but at least those dudes produced a little bit,
Right. Well,
I'm not going to write him off after 1 year.
The guy won a Gold Glove.
Yeah. And I'm not going to write him off after 1 year. I've said this before, so I don't want to just totally, cliche beat a dead horse, but you're paying a guy $25 million a year to be an awesome defender. And just the hitting numbers don't justify money like that. They really don't. Even with his time in Atlanta as well. This guy's not Pujols in his prime. I'm sorry, But like I said though, I don't think it matters because the Cubs are so elite now that whatever. If the guy doesn't produce, who gives a shit? Cubs are still going to be good. It's going to be popular.
There's still guys in the pipeline, man. There's really good infielders coming up, and it's what are we going to do with all these kick-ass infielders?
Right.
Somebody people are eventually going to have to become trade bait.
Yeah, at the deadline, for sure.
Cool. Well, so Levi, the view from the top looks good. Jonathan, you're the most interesting team right now to me among our three because
it could go either way.
A World Series, right? Okay, it's only three. If you've got you're not far removed from a World Series victory and 2 consecutive World Series appearances. Injuries hurt you last year. And then also another intriguing storyline with the Royals is what will the Royals look like in 2018? Because you have 4 cornerstone pieces who are going to be free agents, right? Escobar,
Hosmer, Moustakas, and Kane.
Moustakas and Kane.
Yeah. Yeah.
All guys that are integral pieces of that team.
Yes, they are integral pieces of this team. Would they be integral pieces of a future championship team? I don't know. And that's what I think the Royals need to be thinking about. I was watching a little bit of MLB TV on Apple TV last night, and they compared Hosmer to he's essentially James Loney. But James
That's
Loney
not a
was
very
like
sexy comparison.
No, it's not. But James Loney had a little bit better slash lines. Hosmer has a really good glove and all that, and he looks like he could easily hit 30 home runs, but he probably won't. But they have him on a 1-year contract. Moustakas is coming back from injury. Kane can hopefully stay healthy, and Escobar might hit 240, 260 maybe, but with a potential Gold Glove. So it's going to be more of the same with a lot of those guys. Maybe one of them is back next year. Maybe the Royals end up keeping one.
I had read the other day that management. I get the SB Nation email every morning, which I recommend. If you guys don't get it, it's nice. Just because I don't have a ton of time to read baseball news, it puts it all in just like one kind of like 4 paragraph email. It's really nice. I'll forward it to you. But anyway, it said the Royals management front office had said that they might wait until the off season not deal with, like, they might not trade these guys this year. And it's like, why wouldn't you do that?
Well, I think if because maybe Moustakas has an average year or a slightly above average year, and maybe the Royals can afford him. Maybe the Royals can just go ahead and sign him, re-sign him to a 3 or 4 year deal. Maybe not a guy like Hosmer. A guy like Hosmer will probably still command a $90 million contract. So that would be somebody that you would maybe want to trade at the deadline. But yeah, maybe this is the sort of these are the sort of guys potentially that they would have signed if they played for other teams and became free agents. So there's a guy like Mike Moustakas, as being like the big free agent splash, relatively speaking, for the off season. And so why not keep the hometown guy that everybody loves.
Well, they made other moves this off season.
They did. They got a lot of Cubs.
That they said, like, they expect to compete. Yeah, they got a lot of Cubs. Yeah, they expect to compete this year. And I expect them to as well. While I think the Indians are good, I don't think they're like a powerhouse. I think they're definitely a strong team, and it'll be between them and Kansas City in the division. But tell me, refresh my memory. Who else is a new Royal this year?
We referenced the Wade Davis trade earlier, where they got Jorge Soler. So they also signed Jason Hamill, former Cub. The Royals traded a minor trade of Alec Mills for Donnie Deweese to the Cubs. Brandon Moss was a big splash. Danny Duffy, who they re-signed to a 5-year contract. Danny Duffy was an intriguing Royals pitcher in that he was a top prospect. Coming out of the minors, and then he had to have Tommy John surgery, so his career was kind of derailed by that. And then he tried to come back, he did come back, and he didn't fare too well in the rotation, but he fared better in the bullpen. And then last year he really came through as a starter, and so they went ahead and signed him up to a 5-year contract. Other than that, guys like Jonathan Sanchez and Al Albuquerque got minor league deals. So it's about what you would expect from the Kansas City Royals.
Still, the core of people are still there, though.
Gordon as well.
Obviously, yep.
And Sal Perez.
Sal Perez, by the way, who's tearing it up in spring training so far.
He lost some weight in the off season. So when I ran into him last summer on the plaza, I told him he could maybe think about shedding a few in the off season, and he took me up on it.
You handed him a Slim Fast. You're like,
I was gonna say,
have a shake.
Yeah. he took it in stride. He knew.
Gosh, all those Cubs. Did you guys gonna get what's it? Matt Clement as well? You gonna bring him back or something?
Anyway. Actually, that harkens back to my Red Sox fandom days when the Red Sox signed Matt Clement to a few-year contract. He had that big goatee, that big dark goatee.
He did, yeah. He was.
I hear Matt Stairs is making a comeback as well.
Nice. He should be, and then he should run for Prime Minister.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. White Sox, our moves are, we made, obviously we probably made the offseason's biggest trade, I would say, with trading Sale for, Moncada and then, Kopech.
Michael Kopech.
To Boston. From Boston, we got those guys. And, it's moves that probably should have happened, a while back ago with Sale, I think. And, a part of me was like, well, let's get rid of Quintana too, and just really hit the reset button. They didn't do that. And some of the guys that like I thought would be dealt are still on the team. Like I thought, maybe Frazier would get dealt. I thought Melky Cabrera would get dealt.
The milkman.
I thought they might deal. Who else that we've got? That
you still got Przinsky? Is he still on the team?
No, I wish. But those guys will probably those two guys that I just mentioned, Cabrera and Frazier, I would say almost definitely will get traded mid-season if they produce, because they both are on just the last year of their deals as well. And Frazier, had a Rob Deere caliber year.
I think he did almost win the Rob Deere Award. Yes.
Yeah, he hit over 40, I think. And his glove isn't terrible. He'll make a few good plays. I mean, he's not Brooks Robinson in his prime or anything, but he's a average defender, I think. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but. He's not known as one of the worst for third basemen in the league, but not one of the best either. So to me, I like, how we're positioned, because Quintana, we still have under contract for like 3 years, I think. So I think we might only be like a year away from being competitive. When I say competitive, I mean, don't pencil us in for the World Series in 2018. But, I think...
Well, and one of the
I think we're going to be good. Go ahead, Levi.
One of the other biggest moves for you guys was getting Renteria as a coach.
Yeah, it's a change of tone. He's certainly a little more of an upbeat personality than Robin was, and it could light a spark. I don't know. I have to admit, I don't know a ton about the guy. He was the bench coach last year, and then I remember with him briefly with the Cubs.
He seemed to be well liked.
I think so. Yeah, I think players seem like they like him. So yeah, that could be an important move as well. And
is there a chance that Quintana could still be dealt in the spring?
I think so. If or like mid-season. Oh, you mean like in the spring, like before the season begins?
Yeah.
It's a generic answer, but I guess it would seem what type of package somebody's going to give us.
Sure.
Sure. He was attached to Pittsburgh, and I liked what I heard because they've got this kid. Shit, I forgot his name. It's either like his first name's Jordan or his last name's Jordan. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Jordan. Jordan squared to the second power. But Pittsburgh had some really impressive talent. I don't know if they must have not given us entirely what we wanted, though. So I was hoping for that move. But Pittsburgh was basically going to give us their best prospect, for and a couple other good ones for Quintana. But it didn't materialize. I don't know why.
But if somebody's pitcher goes down, second starter goes down this spring, Quintana's going to be a guy that teams are looking at to fill the gap.
Really attractive, one of baseball's most underrated pitchers, I think. He's very quietly performed well for about 4 or 5 seasons now. So yeah, he's got a lot to offer at an affordable price too. But he's 3 years, left on that deal. I think we're going to be good in less than 3 years, in fewer than 3 years. And then you've got Rodon as well. Shields, I can't wait until that deal's done. Thank good God. And with Shields, it's like, what do you do? Because you get rid of him, we got to eat all the money. You know what I mean? I mean, nobody's going to be like, yeah, definitely, we want to pay James Shields $18 million a year. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Tough. So unless the guy bounces back, I mean, he's not that far removed. This, being a Royals fan, from being a good pitcher. Mm-hmm. It's just when he went to San Diego, it all fell apart. I mean, so
yeah, for some reason.
And then when he came to the White Sox, it fell apart even more.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know if he bounces back and he's 60% of what he was in KC. We'll see how it goes.
Maybe get a 13-10 season out of him with a 3.9 ERA.
Yeah. I'll even take a under 4.5 ERA, and I'll be all right. So, and I'm high on Carlos Rodon. He certainly had a little bit of he had some bugs to get out. I think he
was your number one pick in 2015.
Yeah, 2015, and it was a pretty fast track to the majors. He only threw a handful of starts. But he's the future of the rotation still. So I don't know. We got him, and then God, who else? Here's a project. We've got Derek Holland. So which if this is 2011, hey, awesome, bring it on, Derek Holland. But it's not. So,
maybe he can learn a Harry Carey circa White Sox tenure impression.
Yeah.
Really dig deep on that one.
Yeah, he seems like a fun guy. But I just don't know. I mean, they paid him a few $1 million.
Oh.
But I think he's not. I mean, I think maybe. I think it's maybe 2-3 million, something like that. It's basically kind of like what we did last year with Matt Latos, who
it's veterans minimum. So
who got off to a pretty good start.
Yeah,
Matt Latos did, and then we had discarded him by the middle of June, if not sooner. I could be wrong, but I think it could be a similar fate for Derek Holland, unless he totally turns this thing around. I don't know. So with the White Sox, I'm really looking forward to 2018 more than I am the upcoming season. But I'm really excited about Moncada. That's
is he gonna start in the come opening day?
He's penciled in all the Rotographs and all those sites have him down as the projected starter.
Okay.
But because he has played a little bit in the big leagues,
right? Yeah.
But yeah, and then the other guy we got this Giolato from Washington, because we traded Adam Eaton as well.
Oh, I love that stuff. Is that the Italian ice cream?
Yes, very good.
Yeah, the lime, the lemon lime's the best gelato.
Yeah, so we've got him, and he looks good. He's one of baseball's best pitching prospects. So, hey man, bring on 2018. So, but who knows? I mean, if let's say some of those guys click, and they Shields bounces back a little bit. I don't know, man. 500 might not be out of the question.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet on it, but it won't be. I don't think it's out of the question.
Okay.
It's a good goal. A good team goal.
Yeah. And then we made trades that I think will ensure a fairly healthy future. So,
I mean, there were some of the biggest trades in all of baseball in the offseason.
Yeah. I mean, our farm system went from the bottom of the heap to near the top. So. Mm-hmm. And we've got a few other decent guys in the pipeline as well. Guys that we had been that we kind of been incubating down there for a little while, so that might be okay. So yeah. And Tim Anderson, we got this kid named Tim Anderson who had a really good rookie year last year, shortstop. I'm excited to see how he's going to progress as well. He's off to a good start in spring training too. So yeah. I'm kind of cautiously optimistic on the White Sox. We have less to play for than both of your teams do. You know.
Yeah, lower expectations for sure.
Right. So I can live with that. Now, talking about let's take it back a little bit, guys.
The ghost of spring training.
The ghost of spring training past. Yes. I didn't think spring training stats are harder to find than I thought they would be.
Most of them only go back to 2002 that I could find.
MLB's website, the sortable drop down, they only go back about 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was curious because I wanted to know about players in the 90s and things like that. It was just hard to find. Baseball Reference doesn't have it. Maybe they do in the premium edition. I don't know. But it was difficult to see.
In 1980s spring training stats, it's like all you can find is like how many Hooters waitresses they banged.
Right.
Like how many Clearwater, Florida mothers got pregnant that season.
That sounds like the work of like the 93 Phillies, Levi. Anyway, so right.
That's why there's no stats. They didn't want that stuff public.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, I'm looking at some of these. Did you guys find anything interesting in in stats of yesteryear? Yeah. I found a few.
Yeah.
But yeah. So.
I'll shout out a couple here. 2012.
Sure. Okay, not that long ago.
Yeah, 2012 home run leaders of spring training. 2012. Matt Haig was up there. He was.
Who did he play for?
He played for the Pittsburgh Pirates of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he was up there with Freddie Freeman and Albert Pujols with 7 home runs that spring. Matt Haig.
One of the weird facts that I learned from all this: no one's ever hit more than 7 home runs in a spring training.
No, I just saw Chris Bryant hit 9.
They? Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anybody that hit over 7
that year in 20. Yeah. But Matt Haig has 0 career regular season home runs at age 31. But there was that beautiful spring of 2012 where he went ahead and it's interesting because you have to think of it like the guys that are going to get the most swings are these guys that are right on the edge of should they make the team, should they not make the team. Right. So the coach is leaving them in there trying to get a better idea. And so it's kind of unusual when a guy like Albert Pujols or a real big name does lead because they often get more time off. Mm-hmm. Another guy that the year before 2011, former Cub Jake Fox hit 10 home runs. He hit him for the Orioles that year.
Wow.
He was raking, dude. 10 home runs. In just 74 spring training at bats. Keila Kaiahue, who is a Royals spring training legend, hit 7 home runs that year.
Jake Fox is still around, right? Did he play for like Oakland recently?
Are you thinking of Jake Cust?
That's Jack.
Jack Cust. Sorry.
Jake Fox is a free agent,
and he did play for Oakland in 2010.
Okay.
He hasn't played in the majors since 2011.
Okay, so Jake Fox hasn't played since 2011.
He's a free agent. That means he's like
he's holding on
in Reno right now.
He is a free agent.
Right? He hasn't played since 2011. I'm just looking at his Wikipedia page here because it says he hasn't officially retired. He's 34. Okay. It can still happen.
So he hit 10 that one spring training. He has 20 career regular season home runs. But yeah, Levi for the Cubs, he in 2009 he had 11 home runs, 44 RBI. I'm surprised you don't remember this guy.
Yeah. I'll dial it back 10 years. A guy I had never heard of that had a pretty good, pretty impressive spring training. 2007. You guys ever heard of a guy by the name of Trevor Linden?
Didn't he play for the Vancouver Canucks?
What's that?
Didn't he play for the Vancouver Canucks in the NHL?
Yeah,
You're right.
You're right.
He was a legend in NHL '95.
Dual sport athlete. Nice.
Is it maybe?
No,
okay, maybe it's Travis Linden. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We were thinking 1989 Upper Deck cards. It's okay.
All right, guys, I might have botched that name. All right. I'm sorry, Todd Linden.
Todd Linden.
Todd Linden.
I do not remember Todd Linden. No.
Yeah, Todd Linden. Anyway, it's Trevor Linden. Anyway, but
him and Bure tearing it up.
Yes. But Trevor, Todd, whatever the fuck his name is, Todd Linden, on the Giants in 2007, spring training, he hit 353, 421 OPB, and right behind Derek Lee for the hits leading total for spring training. He had 30 hits. 2 home runs, 11 RBIs, but, across the board, one of the better spring training performances of that season. And he did kick around the Giants organization, like back and forth between the majors and the minors for about 3 or 4 years, but just never materialized into an everyday player.
What position did he play?
He's a left fielder.
Left fielder.
Yeah. So 07, it would have been before the Giants kind of really got good. About 3 years later when they won their first title.
Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be so frustrating to just rake in spring training, and you just don't get that break where they have a spot for you on the regular season roster or starting lineup.
Or they do put you on the team for the first month or two, and it's like you don't produce at all, and then you get thrown down.
Right. Would you rather?
I think that would be almost even worse because it was like you had a taste of it and it was there and you were there and then now you're back down.
Would you rather hit 200 for 5 consecutive seasons in spring training and never make the team, or hit 400 and just never get a shot in the regular season? Would you rather get that so close and feel like, oh, what could have been, or would you rather just thought, I kind of sucked, so I never had a shot?
I'd rather go to the dance, just to have a taste. Yeah, sure. Yeah, everybody wants to go to the dance, so.
There are guys who got literally, I think, 0 at-bats in spring training games and still made the team and then got, they hit, $180 for the year or something.
Weird.
I'm looking at a guy on the Royals from 06, 07 that was a really good spring training producer. Gets Esteban Herman.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah, absolutely.
He led spring training in stolen bases in 06 or 07, and he also hit 352 in spring training. So
Royals have had a few of those guys. Herman, Bret Eibner, and Keelan Kaihue, who we mentioned. Yeah. Spring training legends.
I found a link. It's a 2012 article, but it's talks about baseball's best spring training hitters of the last 15 years. Some of the names are household names, like Todd Helton.
He's the guy I was going to mention, man. He's the king of spring training.
Yeah, he's
if you look at his stats for basically 2004 to 2011, the guy just raked. In
2004, he hit 442.
Holy smokes! That's high school.
Training.
That's a high school batting average.
2009, he hit 525.
What?
Yeah, 525.
In 2009, he hit 525, and his slugging was 950. And then in the regular season, he ended up slugging 489.
Which isn't awful. But
no.
No.
And that was
he's
525 and 40 at bats that year.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a future Hall of Famer, that guy.
At what point do you tell Todd, "Hey, Todd, we think you're dialed in. We're gonna go ahead and let your backup get a few hacks, so we're gonna sit you down for a few games."
Or no, what that was right. Yeah, he hit 525 in 2009. In 2006, his OPS was 1.263.
Wow.
It's nuts.
Raking. Where is the Rockies spring training facility? It's in Arizona, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I think it's definitely Cactus League. I'm trying to think what town.
Is it on top of a mesa? Like,
and what's
elevation
the
at elevation.
whole area basically is kind of in a valley. So
that's
one of the things. The Arizona teams are a lot closer than the Florida teams.
Right.
Like
closer
Arizona
together.
Teams are clustered. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all like
There's
the Phoenix metro area, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge business. It used to obviously all be in Florida, and then over the years, like teams, and what it is it's these towns, man. Arizona is like super accommodating, and the towns will pass like, hey, sure, we'll give you 50 mil and build a stadium, and you can keep almost all the revenue and stuff. Like, it's crazy. In Florida, and I can't verify these statistics. I found them on the internet. You know what I mean? But it said in Florida, they do $800 million in sales in spring training. And almost half of that is from people from out of state. And then the number I could find for the Cactus League in Arizona is it brings about $400 million into Arizona.
Huh.
I see why they want to keep it around.
Yeah. Big business.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I've got a couple spring training music trivia questions for you. All right. Let's go with this here. Arizona doesn't have a history of producing a lot of famous musical acts, right?
Delicious iced tea.
Right. But there is a famous. He's commonly associated with another city because he was born there and raised there.
Another city in another state.
Yeah, another city in another state. Excuse me. Yeah, he's commonly linked with that. As being one of the famous figures of that city, which has produced a lot of famous musicians. He is. But his band, his first band, the one that released the debut album and took off, he moved to Phoenix when he was a teenager, like in the late 60s. And he formed his band that would become the band he had for a few years in Phoenix. Any guess who it might be? And also, I'll give you another hint. Theatrical rocker.
Theatrical.
Alice Cooper?
Yep. You got
it. Nice.
Good. Yep.
Okay.
So he's Alice Cooper cut his teeth in Phoenix.
Yeah.
But he's born in Detroit, and people commonly link him to Detroit more than Phoenix. So.
Well, I think I'm not positive, but does he reside? He might have somewhere in Phoenix he resides sometimes.
He golfs
because I know he's all about the golf. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still resides there or not. But
didn't he have a restaurant?
At one time, he might have.
Maybe at one point. Yeah. Yeah. He does golf a lot. So
it was,
that would make
Feed
sense.
My Frankenstein, right? He was like, come have a burger at Feed My Frankenstein. No.
That's right.
One other act from Phoenix. Jonathan mentioned him earlier. He said he's going to see him soon.
Oh, the Meat Puppets.
Meat Puppets are a Phoenix band.
Yes.
Roger Klein and the Peacemakers and the Refreshment.
Also, another Yeah, you're right. They are as well. Another '90s band from Phoenix. A lot of radio, like 3 or 4 very successful radio singles. Didn't have a lot of I think they still play, but they're a little bit more probably of a
like Jim Blossoms or somebody.
Yep,
like
there you go.
Oh yeah.
So that's basically aside from I guess if you count Jimmy Eat World,
I don't.
That's basically the extent of rock originating out of Phoenix. So.
Yeah.
All right. The Florida ones, obviously Florida has a little bit of a richer history. Let me say this. Just about every major Southern rock band of the 70s came out of Florida. Because the Allmans, even though commonly linked to Georgia.
They're Florida, all those people.
Right.
Yep.
Daytona, Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Blackfoot is from Jacksonville. 38 Special is from Jacksonville. Skinnerd's from Jacksonville.
All those bands are related.
Yeah, right. And
like,
then
literally, I think almost all those bands literally have members that are related.
Yeah,
or they played in the other's band.
They played in the Outlaws are from the Tampa area.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Tom Petty.
And then Petty from
Southern
Gainesville.
Rock. Yeah.
Now lately with Florida, it's kind of a lot of shittier new metal has come out of Florida.
EDM.
Like Cold and Seether and bands like that. And but a band I like a lot called Torch is from Miami.
Oh,
so they're from Miami. But yeah, Florida is
dude. You glossed over Orlando in the late '90s. NSYNC.
In Sync, Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees.
Orlando was a fucking machine, dude.
Those are all Orlando bands. Yeah, right. That sleazy guy Lou Pearlman behind all of them.
Yeah.
Who don't Google Lou Pearlman. He's in jail right now. But anyway. So Florida really the home of Southern rock, even more so than,
Georgia or Alabama.
And Alabama and Mississippi.
Yeah.
Who've certainly contributed to it and have their own pockets. But all the major players of Southern rock have emerged from Florida.
The swamps of the Panhandle and
Yep. So the swamp music, as Skinner stated. Oh, good deal.
Good trivia there, Gabe.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We've laid the ghosts of spring training past to rest, I think.
I totally forgot about all the boy bands coming out of Florida as well. So.
Right. Well, you can admit you were doing research all week on them.
Right.
That's how you stumbled upon the Lou Pearlman thing.
Yeah.
I'll take that trivia as a segue. Can you name the final team for which Babe Ruth played for?
Oh, well, what? What? It's probably not the Red Sox.
The Boston Braves.
Oh, Boston Braves. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
He didn't go back to the Red Sox.
No, but he went back to Boston, and so another point that we thought we might touch upon was this idea of players who try to make a comeback, and I was using Baseball Reference's handy advanced searching mechanisms to see who had like only so many plate appearances in their final season, implying that maybe they shouldn't have tried to play that season. And one of them was Babe Ruth in his final season. Yeah, he swung for the Boston Braves, and he only played in about 25 games that year, but he hit home runs 712, 713, and 714. The final 3 home runs of his career all came in one game. And it wasn't his final game. His final game was actually like 5 games later. He ended up going 0 for 13 after that game, and then he retired in May while playing for the Boston Braves. And a lot of people mistakenly say that was his final game in which he hit 3 home runs, but it wasn't technically. But they did all come in the same game.
Players nowadays go 0 for 13, and they're like, "Yeah, that was my week."
Yeah, over 13, 7 strikeouts. That's day-night doubleheader.
I could be wrong. I need to look at the numbers, but when we were growing up and following baseball in the late 80s, early 90s, like if you hit under 200, you didn't have a job.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like now I feel like I see teams with a lot of guys with low batting averages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean beyond catchers, like it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think the pendulum's starting to swing the other way, though. I think batting average and OBP, starting to be more emphasized again, as these big sluggers, Bautista and Encarnacion,
Chris Davis,
who just hit home runs. They're having a hard time finding long-term deals because teams aren't willing to make that trade-off.
Yeah, I mean, I think the era of the one-dimensional, I can play first base and hit home runs, I think that guy's kind of over.
Yeah, if that's all you can do, you're gonna have to do more than that for sure.
You need more multi-dimensional players,
Yeah. I did have one more spring comeback story. So hope springs eternal, and for one guy, who endured many injuries in his career, Bret Saberhagen. He was such a dynamic young pitcher, winning the Cy Young Award at age 21, World Series with the Royals. Eventually, he won 20 games a couple times with the Royals. Then he went on to the Mets, and his career started to get derailed by injuries. And then he actually, Saberhagen closed out his career with the Red Sox.
I remember that.
In the late 90s. He actually, he went like 15-8, 3.96 ERA, 10-6 with a 2.95 ERA. And then in 2000, he missed all of 2000 because of injury. And then in 2001, he tried to make a comeback. And
wow, how many
on Boston?
With Boston still, right? Yeah. And
he was a rookie in '85.
Yeah. So he was 35, 36, 37 in 2001. He was 37.
He came in really young then. Huh?
He did. Yeah. He was just a kid, man, thrown right into the spotlight too with those good Royals teams, and so I'm fascinated by these spring training stories, and I found one in the LA Times about Saberhagen's return, and him trying to make this comeback, and he's him having quotes like had quotes like, if my shoulder's not allowing me to pitch this year, there's no sense in going any further. Joe Kerrigan, Boston pitching coach, said he was outstanding from the first pitch to the last, meaning like his last bullpen session. Out of the 25 pitches he threw, he probably hit his spots dead on 20 times. Kerrigan thinks Saberhagen's arm is as strong as it's been in the past 4 years. And Saberhagen said, I'm not over the hill yet. I still feel like I've got a lot of bullets left in my arm. We'll see what happens. Well, unfortunately, what happened was Saberhagen went 1-2 with a 6 ERA, only logged 15 innings that year, and retired at the end of the year. And when Saberhagen was up for the Hall of Fame, nobody really considered that he would make it, but he said that if he was voted in the Hall of Fame, he would boycott it because he thought Pete Rose should be in. He only received 7 votes, so didn't have to worry about that. But anyway,
isn't that crazy how guys can be multiple Cy Young Award winners, All-Star Game participants, World Series champions, and they're just like blown over for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he won 2 Cys. He won 2 Cys for the Royals. I mean,
I'm not saying like, I don't know. Maybe there should be a hall for like above average guys or something.
Or maybe, or a hall.
That's what
like,
team Hall of Fames are for.
A hall for just like 6-year windows or something like that.
Well, yeah. Because it's tough.
It's like a guy like we've talked about on the show, Dave Stewart makes the Hall of Fame. Then.
Sure.
Because like Dave Stewart was mowing them down for like 5 years
he was
straight.
Mean. Oh yeah, man.
Dude, he won he had he had
Dude,
5.
Lee Smith.
Yeah.
Lee Smith should be in the.
Lee Smith got a legit.
Yeah, he's got a better shot than Saberhagen.
He was the all-time saves leader at one point.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets votes. I don't remember what his last total was.
Levi's right. He has been on the ballot a long time, right?
Mm-hmm. Maybe the Veterans Committee.
He may be on Veterans Committee by now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Did Edgar Martinez make it this year? He got in, right? Isn't that who?
I don't think he did.
He should.
Bagwell. We did an episode about it.
Bagwell, Pudge, Rodriguez.
Bagwell, Pudge,
and one guy that didn't use.
Yeah, right.
I think it was.
Tim Raines.
Oh yeah, he used other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Tim Raines got in though. Yeah. I thought it was Edgar Martinez got in, but he should.
Yeah, I think he's close. He's close.
Yeah.
He'll get in. He'll be like the first DH, predominantly DH, to get in.
Frank Thomas got in a few years ago, but
Thomas had a lot of years at first base. I think more years at first base than
Did he? Then DH?
Or I'm going to say then Edgar. Then Edgar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, on that note, guys, another episode in the books. I'd like to remind everybody to follow us on Instagram and the Twitter at RockInChew. That's rock as in R. Carlos Nakai, who is also a Phoenix musician.
Whoa! You went Nakai on us. Damn.
Playing like wind flute.
Give me
right?
that rock flute, man.
You got it.
Not so rock flute.
That's probably actually Phoenix's biggest musical export. But anyway,
I'm gonna queue up some Nakai later. I think
that's true. I think so.
It's been too long.
I'm gonna listen to right when we get done. But also, you can find everything about the podcast, including the links to social media that I just mentioned, as well as previous episodes. You can leave us comments, as you should. Please also leave us a review on iTunes or, maybe another podcasting app that you use. But that would certainly help us out a lot. And yeah, please visit us at rockchew.com. You can find everything you need there. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Next time we'll be making our predictions. So stay tuned for that one.
Peace.
Peace.